If you asked me what the hardest thing about self-improvement is, I would have to say it is realizing and accepting that not everyone in this world chooses to grow and take accountability. Now, of course, that's just my personal opinion. If you ask 10 other people what they think the hardest thing is, you'll probably get 10 different answers. Even though I've made this realization that not everyone chooses to grow as a person throughout their lives, I still find it so hard to actually accept. Because for me, once I started seeing changes in myself, once I started seeing improvements in my life because I was going to take accountability for my actions, my thoughts, personally, I just couldn't believe how I used to live like that, how I used to live with this victim mindset. And now that I have seen the difference in my own life of what I used to be like versus now I have such a hard time believing how anybody else could choose to stay a victim, to choose to live with no accountability, to not better themselves. I feel like this is where people are always like, oh, you need to give grace to people because you need to meet them where they are. You know, some people just need time to realize. And to an extent, I agree because like I've said before, you can't work on something, you can't improve something unless you're aware of said thing that needs to be worked on. But I've also found that there are just people in the world who, even though they know what their problems are, what they can improve on, they actively choose to not. And those are the people where having grace for them, no. So the whole realizing not everyone chooses to grow thing, I kind of categorize it in two ways. People I personally know, friends, family, acquaintances, and the general public. Now, for the general public category, it's more of a I can't believe how, as a society, we have gotten to this point because it really feels like everyone just wants a handout. Everyone wants to be a victim. Everyone wants to have been targeted in some way, to have something to cry about. Woe is me. The world is out to get me. Society doesn't accept me. It just feels like it's one thing after another. Like, how did we get here? Now, reasonably, I know not everyone is like that because I have met people, I have made friends with people who are not like that. But the problem is, and this really goes with any controversial thing, any sort of debate where the extremes are the loudest. The extremes are what you're going to hear on the news. The extremes are what you're going to see videos about, reports about, because they're the extremes. It's the other category that I really struggle with actually accepting. And I think it's because friends and family, I don't know if anyone else feels like this. I kind of put them, I don't want to say a how do you say that? Oh, Lord, I'm dropping everything. Sorry, I need to Google this because I feel like pedestal is the phrase pedestal, not pedestal. Is pedestal a real thing? Have I just been saying it wrong? Oh my God, it's pedestal. I thought it was pedestal this entire time. How long have I been saying that? I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I tend to have a higher expectation from my friends and family. Like, I expect them to know better. I expect them to be better. And I think that's why this is still such a hard concept for me to grasp and understand, that I know people personally who choose not to grow and be better and be accountable for their actions. And I think another thing that makes it really hard for me to accept that I have slash had friends and family that refuse to grow, I think it's because I also think it's a reflection of me. Because if I am choosing to be involved with this person, to have this person in my life in any way, like, to a degree, I think it is a reflection of me because you are who you surround yourself with. Now, I do think it's possible to still hold your own, to still have limited interactions with people like this and still maintain your values and beliefs and all the work you've done in your life for yourself. I still think it's possible to maintain a limited relationship with them, but I think in the long term it will eventually hinder you because you're still being exposed to that kind of behavior. You're being exposed to limiting beliefs that other people are holding for themselves. Like, it's still going to affect you just by being around it, just by interacting with it. It's hard because you want to believe that your friends and family, especially your family, you want to believe your family can't possibly be like the general public category. You don't want to believe that your family members could possibly fall into that category. It's probably a sense of wanting to believe you come from better, that your family knows better and are better. At this point in my life, I'm only 30. I by no means feel like I am old. I am definitely not young anymore though. But I feel like I'm just at a point in my life where I take my time and who I spend my energy on very seriously, because time is the most precious asset you will ever have, because it is the one thing you will never get back. And as I've gotten older and as I've been exposed to more people, more different types of people, I have just come to the I have just come to the realization that I don't want to waste my time anymore. I don't want to waste my energy anymore. Another difficult thing about realizing that not everyone wants to grow is the fact that you don't really have any control over it. You can't make somebody want to improve themselves, want to be better. It's really just you coming to the realization and having to accept it. And again, I have not fully accepted it. I don't think I have, because I have to constantly remind myself. And I am constantly in disbelief that anyone would want to not grow and not be better, especially as you age. I suppose in that aspect, it could be argued, how is this realization really the most difficult thing about self-improvement? Because self-improvement is, of course, the self. I try to limit my interactions with people when I come across them. If I meet people who are like that, I try not to keep their company, because you are the company you keep. And I don't want to keep company like that. I want people who are motivated and driven, who want to be the best version of themselves, who want to uplift others, and who take accountability. And I feel like the lack of accountability is so overwhelmingly strong in today's world.